Welcome back. My name is Gary and I'm a mechanic. Today, oh man, today I went to grill out at my best friend's house for his birthday. Um, went and had a good time, got home, mowed some grass. I got this hill in my front of my yard that requires me to weed eat it. And boy, it's a hell of a chore. After I got done doing that, only took about 45 minutes, but 92 degrees and direct sunlight, holding the weed eater up a hill. Yeah, Gary went inside, passed out, came back, feel like a spring chicken. Well, today's going to be a little bit of a different video, kind of a style I've never done before. Um, we're not looking at any tools. Well, I got this really cool little Snap-on knife by Kershaw. Pretty cool. Given to me by a friend of mine. Um, we're going to use the shotgun this one before we get started rambling too much. But the subject of discussion for today is going to be mechanics leaving the industry, man. I see that everywhere. Oh, mechanics are leaving in drove. They're running off. Nobody wants to work anymore. Blah 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 blah. And most of the time they're talking about automotive mechanics, which I'm not. Never have I been one. Never will I be one. And there are specific reasons why, which I'll explain shortly. Let's go ahead and get this guy. She's sweating. She's nervous. Let's get her down. God, no. She was cold. Nothing like an ice cold beer after some good, hard, honest work, right? Well, to preface this, if you've seen any of my other videos, you guys know I'm a field mechanic. I work on industrial and construction equipment. So I work on forklifts, scissor lifts, boom lifts, um, wheel loaders, telehandlers, pretty much anything, dude. Mini excavators. It just depends on the day of the week. The company I work for, we're a dual dealership. We have a construction side and we have an industrial side. Um, Now I'm actually an industrial mechanic. Um, our construction side only works on one particular brand for the most part. The industrial mechanics, we pick up everything else. And just being dual branch, people call us for stuff we aren't dealers for. And if it's a piece of construction equipment that we're not dealers for, or a piece of agricultural equipment that we're not dealers for, it's a free game. Anybody can get it. So we do a lot of work on Genies, JLGs, JCBs, Yale, Heister, Toyota, Komatsu's, what else? I mean, the list goes on. Doesn't have anything to do with this video though. Why are mechanics leaving in droves? Like I said before, most people are talking about your typical automotive mechanic, which, like I said before, I am not. But I can tell you why I have interest in leaving the industry. Um, I come from the maritime industry, witness all the tattoos and the constant wearing of Hawaiian shirts. Um, and then this really badass hat that I got at, I think Advanced Auto Parts. Advanced, yeah. I hate Advanced. I hate AutoZone, O'Reilly's, baby. That's where it's at. Um, But I come from being an engineer. I started off on tugboats for a long time and then moved on to cruise ships. Went to work as a field engineer for the field mechanic for the company I currently work for. After about a year, I left. And I went to work as a port engineer for a large maritime company, supervising their, various different vessels engineering side. And I was there for 11 months, and my boss from this company reached out to me and wanted me to come back. So we discussed salary and benefits and stuff, and we came to an amicable agreement, and I decided to return. Um, Now, I've made plenty of jokes in my videos. I wish I was an electrician, wish I was a plumber, wish I was a whatever. Fill XYZ trade in there. And the reason being is a lot of those other trades make comparable or sometimes better um, monetary compensation than your average mechanic makes, with far less responsibility or expectation. As a mechanic, I'm called to be an electrician. I work on a lot of EV units, for lack of a better term, all electric units. What we got? Pernicious, IPA, Wicked Weed Brewing. This is a North Carolina brew. I believe Wicked Weed's out of North Carolina. Asheville, North Carolina, Lexington, Virginia. This is a really good beer. I got turned on to this at Wild Wing Cafe. I don't know if those places are still in business. The one in Savannah, Georgia closed, where I previously lived. They kept setting off the fire alarm because they didn't want to work. And people quit going, and the business shut down. Those are people who don't want to work, not mechanics. I digress, gentlemen. There are a lot of other trades. As a mechanic, I have to know how to do welding. Do welding. I have to know how to make metal stick to metal, okay? I got my shit here, but it's not accessible. My MIG gun. Purchased by myself. Small, cheap little welder, 120. I don't have 240 on the van. It's a multi-process. I can do stick or I can do flux core wire. And I don't do any structural welding, but I'll patch stuff up here and there where it's safe to do so, seats, such like that. If I need anything more than that, typically we'll get in contact with a welding firm and have them do it. The thing is it's liability. Could I stick weld? Yes, absolutely. I've stick welded plenty on ships. I've never been a welder by trade, but that's just something you pick up as a mechanic, a marine engineer. You're going to learn how to weld. And most mechanics in the construction and industrial industry also know how to weld. Are we compensated $40, $50, $60 an hour like a welder is? No, absolutely not. Could we pass a test? Most of us, yeah, probably. I've been welding now for pretty frequently for about 5 years. Stick is the process I know best. I've been dabbling in the flux core. It's different. I enjoy it. Plumbing. Every engine I've ever worked on has plumbing. And plumbing is moving water from point A to point B. Sometimes point C, D, whatever. But it's the movement of water from point A to point B. Okay? I'm not bagging on any other trades, but I know plumbers who make $50,000, $60,000 a year. As an engineer on boats, I did a lot of plumbing. That was our number one issue. I worked on a lot of old tugboats that were built in the 60s, 50s. I worked on one, the Fort Macon, that was built in 1949. And, metal pipes, saltwater environment, corrosive environment. Yeah, just. And I worked on MSD systems, marine sanitation devices, the shitter. Plenty. That was probably about half of what I did. The other half of what I did was electrical work, similar to an electrician. I've worked on gensets, 40 volt transformers, everything from 480 volt down to 6 volt systems. I'm familiar with and have worked on extensively due to working in the maritime industry. And currently I work on mostly DC systems, 80 volt and down. And electricians, again, they could take a tool bag, excuse my closeness, they could take a tool bag similar to this, fill it up with a couple tools. It's a Craftsman VersaStack bag. pretty heavily used. I use it from time to time. I like it. Um, Fill this up with all the tools that they own and go do electrical work. Boys, the whole back of this van, the only parts that are in this van are parts I've ordered for jobs. The rest of this shit's all tools and consumables, and some lunch stuff right behind y'all. Other than that, every damn thing in here I've purchased. This drawer alone, this is my primary power tool drawer, but by no means all of my power tools in this van. This drawer right here, fuck, this battery right here cost me $400. Okay? The impact gun was $300 and some change. $700 right there. I know electricians, man, that walk around with $150 worth of tools and can do their job all day. My point is, mechanics, I hate to say it, we're undercompensated. I think the average mechanic makes something in the ballpark of $28 an hour, $35 an hour for a master mechanic. Working in the field that I work in, I am compensated better than that. Not much, but better than that. And that's why I left it originally. I always told myself, people have always told me, Gary, why don't you get into being a mechanic? Get off the boat, be a mechanic. And could I do it? Oh, yeah. Coming from the tugboats, man, most tugboats are powered by EMDs. Those are large diesel power plants. We would routinely do power packs on those underway. I've rebuilt 6090 John Deeres, old Detroit 871s, 671s, 1271s, all kind of plants. And yeah, I came into this industry never having touched any kind of construction equipment. Had a week of training with our lead technician, and I have, not tooting my own horn, I consider myself maybe B tier mechanic, low A minus tier mechanic, and it's just because I'm willing to try. But I've quickly become, in 2 years in this industry, probably our most reliable mechanic at my branch, and you know, our most thorough. And never wanted to be one, because I knew the liability, man. Like, if I fuck something up, I could kill somebody, like, in an instant. And electricians could too, and in some cases plumbers could too, carpenters could too, but far less likely than in my industry. If I fuck up and route a hydraulic line wrong and turn forward, you know, tilt forward into tilt reverse, and we get a guy who hops on a lift and wants to bump the forks forward, and or wants to bump them back and bump them forward and dump the load on top of somebody and kills them, that's a big deal. If I don't chain my mast properly and I drop a main hydraulic lift line down, I could lose my fucking arms when I go to reach into the mast to unhook the line. It's a high risk job. And the nature of my job is I'm constantly in contact with customers, face to face with them, and emails, text messages, phone calls, warranty, talking to upper echelons of my particular organization, and it's very stressful. All day long I'm on the phone, texting, while still trying to turn wrenches, looking up service manuals on engines I've never seen before. Like I said, I work on a lot of EVs. I also work on a lot of propane and gasoline power plants. Some of them foreign, some of them domestic. And then same with diesel plants. I mean, I might work on a Deutz 2.9 one day, and the next day I'm working on a Yanmar 2.2 or 2.3. Or a GM 4.357. You know, every day is different. And that's part of what I like about it. It keeps me challenged. But, man, I look at these guys who, I'm not saying they do less work than I do, but perceivably less skilled trades. And that's going to piss some people off, but I'm sorry, as a mechanic, you have to be highly skilled to be a successful mechanic. you have to be highly skilled. And attention to detail is absolutely paramount to our job. And I look at these guys who are making, I see electricians making $50, $60 an hour, AC technicians making $50, $60 an hour. And like I said, working out of a fucking tool bag. I got to tote a whole fucking giant ass van around just to tote my damn tools, y'all. I mean, and all of them I purchased. I wouldn't be shocked if I didn't have $30,000 worth of tools sitting in here, and I'm constantly buying more because shit is constantly changing. That, and then us as mechanics, we're looked at the same as politicians and lawyers. We're mechanics, politicians, and lawyers. We're liars, we're cheaters, and we're thieves. Okay? And I'm a very honest person. I don't like to screw my customers over. I've actually caused quite a stir at the shop because I've called out some kind of shitty business practices that the company is leaning towards, and I've caused a little bit of ruckus. But I'm just honest. I don't like lying to people. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the effort. I'm going to tell you what's fucked up on your equipment. You want it fixed? I'll fix it. You want it? Well, I work for a dealership, so I don't do half-ass fixes. But, I can get it running as long as it's safe to operate, and I feel okay with that, then okay. But I try to fix everything that a customer will allow me to fix properly. I don't go out quoting fucking seat cushions on construction equipment. Okay, nobody gives a fuck. We got guys who do, I don't. But that's why mechanics are leaving, dude, is to become a mechanic, the entry threshold is so expensive, man. I mean, there's a lot of guys go to school for 2 to 4 years, buy fucking $30,000 worth of tools, and they're making $20 an hour at best. Unless you live in California, maybe 25, okay? And they've got a huge tool bill. They have tuition costs, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't have to go to college. No, you don't have to buy Snap-on tools, okay? You don't. There are cheaper ways of getting into it. Lord knows I did it. When I started in this industry, we'll say 3 years ago with a 1 year gap in between, I had hardly any tools. In the maritime industry, I get on my damn boat, I have a whole entire engine room stocked full of tools. Never did I have to buy a tool. If I needed a tool for a specific task, I either created the tool in the vise with a piece of fucking bar stock, or when we got to shore, I took my purchasing card, called an Uber, rode in the Uber to the nearest parts house or tool house, bought what I needed, returned, fixed it. I came here and I have had to play catch up big time. Most of my coworkers come from working on big trucks, Class 8s and such, or they came from the automotive industry. So they come with their huge ass Snap-on toolbox, their Epics, whatever. I didn't have all that, so I had to build it very quickly, very expensively, and just do what I could do. And for somebody coming into the trades, and I'll say it myself, I mean, I get aggravated when I come across an axle nut, or I come across, a hydraulic cylinder head with a nut welded on to the gland, and the only way to get it off is with a certain socket, and you look and your 46 doesn't fit and your 44 doesn't fit, and you're like, I don't have a 45. I guess I gotta go to the closest parts place and see if I can pick up a 45 millimeter socket to use this one fucking time. I've got a whole bag of sockets here with just giant 3/8 and 1-inch drive things that I've used literally one time and drove, what is this, 2 1/4 1-inch drive. And dude, I don't, it's Gear Wrench, not super expensive brand, but I probably spent $80 on it, and there's nary a mark on it. Looks brand new. except for it's been bouncing around this fucking giant bag. Frustrating. And my employer's not going to buy that. That's on me. And that sucks. And that, lack of pay, lack of respect, and just grin your grass in other fields, man. That's why guys are leaving. Today's world, even on the equipment side, I see what the automotive guys go through with all the technology being added. We have that shit too. We're getting telemetry systems. We're getting, pedestrian alert systems. We're getting automation. I have one customer that has these order selectors that drive around on a wire guidance system. The order comes in and says, hey, we need this printer off of location A to B7 or whatever. And the operator hops on it, puts his foot on the little operator switch. It drives him there, lifts him up. He pulls the package, sets it down, hits OK on the dash, drives back to the pull location, or from the pull location back to the drop location. He drops it there. It gets packaged up, shipped out to the customer. Operator isn't even an operator. He's just labor to pull the part off the shelf. And that's spreading, dude. That's our industry too. I've thought about getting in maybe like EV spotter trucks. We work on spotter trucks too, yard trucks, small little cab overs, move trailers around. Normally have Cummins plants in them. We work on those too. And they're starting to come out with EV ones. And I actually really enjoy electrical. I wish I had gotten into electrical. That's where I typically shine, is in electrical diagnostics. But I've dabbled in that, or maybe working for Tesla, or what's the truck one? Edison Motors. Seeing if they need somebody to service their stuff they're coming out with. But that's why mechanics are leaving, dude. Expense. Expectations, liabilities, responsibility, and perception. I'm proud to be a mechanic. I love wrenching. I don't work in the shop a lot, but I love working in the shop with my fellow mechanics. We cut up. We all have the same mindset. Like I said, every day fucking sucks. Having good tools makes it a little bit better. Having good guys to work with makes it a lot better. But, is what it is. I'm not trying to deter anybody from being a mechanic because, like I said, I'm proud to be one. I am. The skills that I've learned and the suck that I've had to endure has made it to... I've got this mindset now that I didn't have previous to getting into this. Well, previous to being an engineer, but after starting out the whole engineering route, climbing up that ladder, starting in the mechanic field, I've determined that if another man put it together or another man can fix it, I can fix it too. And every day I get more and more confident in that mantra. And it's due to the fact of constantly fixing shit every day. But it does wear on the mind, it wears on the body. I used to wrench for fun. Now, if I have a family member call me and say I have an issue with my vehicle, boys, I'm here to tell you, I about throw up every time. I've thought about doing side work on people's cars, people's, golf carts and shit. Shit we don't deal. No moonlighting. But the thought makes me sick. I come home and the only thing I like wrenching on is my fucking lawnmower. That's it. I'll fix my old lady shit up if it fucks up. My dad's got an old truck out here that I'll piddle paddle with. But that being said, the motivation is really gone. It took the passion out of it. I used to like working on old trucks. 60s, 70s, 80s, pre-ECU, ECMs, no fuel injection, just strictly carbureted manual transmissions or vacuum actuated automatics. And I don't know, maybe I'd like to get back into that one day, but it's really a draining industry. The guy who motivated me to kind of start this channel was Justin Dow. who died, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 months ago, and watching him, just a regular dude, spiraling. And he was a veteran and a mechanic, and that's what motivated me to start this. Is I don't know, dude. I kind of wanted to pick up the torch where he left off while he was still on his high side before he started going downhill, you know. Um, but anyhow, I wanted to put a face with the name Gary, mechanic, and just kind of go from there. I don't know how many talking head videos, as they call it, I'm going to do. Most of it's going to be on the old, I don't even know what the fuck this wood is. Not good, I'll tell you that. Doesn't take a hammer blow good. Um, but on the old wood bench, and just continue from there. I'm not quitting wrenching anytime soon, I can tell you that. Pays the bills, and I do enjoy it. There's just times where I look at, I'm in a warehouse, fucking, tank deep in a fucking in an engine or something, and I look over and there's some fucking dude wiring something into an electrical box, and he's got his little high vis vest on. He's just whistling away with his little earbuds in, having a good day, and I'm just like covered in fucking grease, oil, and chicken shit. And I'm like, God, dude, I hate my life. Fuck, why did I do that? Damn it. But anyhow, y'all, keep wrenching, have a good time, stay easy, and enjoy some cold beer.